Hello and welcome back to the Jessica Pinelli podcast. How are we going? Coming to you from Happy CEO Monday. I just went live over on Instagram and I'm feeling hyped up. I think my caffeine has kicked in, and I'm actually going to bring a part of what I spoke about in live in today's episode. I think today's episode is going to be a shorter one, but it's going to be a really potent reminder, especially as we're winding down this year and we're coming into a brand new year, which I'm getting really, really excited about. And I'm definitely going to go into it a little bit deeper, what the excitement is, but what was the difference from this time last year. But before we do that, I am going to do a angel card pulling. Different angel cards. They've got like affirmations on them. These were actually my mum's. And I am feeling like let's do three cards. So pick a number one to three, keep it in your mind. Don't change it. Whatever the first one was to pop in, keep that number because that's the one meant for you. And as I'm shuffling this, if you have been loving the podcast, watching here on YouTube, I would absolutely love for you to press the subscribe button, to hit the thumbs up. It supports and helps my channel so much. And if you are listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, wherever it may be, I appreciate you. And I would absolutely love if you could give me a 5-star review, even a written review. I say to you guys all the time, it just helps push out the podcast to so many other high achieving women. And I'm loving with connecting with all the newbies from YouTube, from the listeners over on the podcast like iTunes and Spotify. It just means so much to me. All right. Have you got your number? I'm going to choose three. One, two, three. Like I said, these are affirmations, and then I'm kind of going to give you an intuitive drop of what I am feeling behind it. So my number ones. Oh, my life is full of health, wealth, and happiness. The first thing immediately that came to me was this is a reminder, and maybe you have been stuck in some patterns of negative thinking around all of these areas of of your life, or maybe just one of these areas. So my life is full of health, wealth, and happiness. This is a reminder that it's there. Stop stressing. Stop giving yourself anxiety over this. It is absolutely there. Your life is full, it's abundant. And I think today's episode is going to help you maybe change your perspective if you've been feeling a little bit low vibrational. But in the meantime, just remember that your life is actually full of it all and you get to embrace it. It is absolutely a choice. My number twos. I materialize all that I need in my life. Oh, I love this one. This is basically saying that everything you do need in life, you are going to bring into fruition. However, what I'm kind of feeling to tell you, it is not going to be on your timeline. It is always going to be on the timeline of the universe. I know that can be super frustrating. I get it. I am one of the most impatient people ever. But this is a reminder that everything that you do need in life is going to come into fruition. Keep putting in the groundwork, keep sowing those seeds, and it's going to come, but not always on your timeline. And then my number threes. Oh, I love this. I am in the right place at the right time. I feel like all of these had kind of like the same vibe. Stop stressing. Stop thinking you need to be somewhere. Stop thinking that you're behind in life. Stop thinking that what you're doing isn't good enough or you're not further enough, or stop thinking you're not successful enough. You get to decide that. You get to have a choice in that. And you are where you're meant to be. Something I always say to my private clients is everything happens. I learned this from a mentor. Everything happens in perfect divine timing. And trust me, there have been moments in my life where I'm like, how could this possibly be perfect divine timing? But this is why hindsight is such a beautiful thing, because I look back and I'm like, wow, it truly did. I truly needed to go through that at that very moment in time. So I am in the right place at the right time. I love those. And I loved bringing some different cards onto the podcast episode. But let's get into the juiciness. So I went live over on Instagram and I was kind of talking about mindset shifts coming from going into 2024 from 2023. I will actually just remind myself, I will link that Instagram live in the show notes below because I think it was such a powerful one. My caffeine had also kicked in. Like I said, I went live just before I'm recording this. So it was just so potent, and I think it will complement this episode perfectly. But I really want to share with you the one mindset shift that changed my entire life, that took me almost a decade to learn, and that is the art of self reflection. Now, you are probably listening or watching this because you are into personal development, because you are into consuming self help resources, books, podcasts, YouTube videos, anything. And you're probably like, obviously, you need self reflection, Jess. That doesn't give me a lot. I self reflect all the time. But my question to you is, do you actually self reflect, or do you have this habit of really spiritually bypassing? Are you someone who will write in your journal? Maybe you'll meditate, maybe you do a bit of breath work and you feel like you're reflecting on your life. Or maybe it gets to Sunday and you do a bit of a reflection. You're like, okay, this week was really good, or this week was actually really shit. And yeah, let's just move forward. Let's have a more positive mindset, or let's keep momentum. That is what I would call being self aware of what's happening. Now, I always say there's two types of self awareness. There are two types of awareness. Sorry. One is self awareness, one is conscious awareness. What I want you to step into, and why I'm creating this podcast episode and why this is so important for me to like emphasize, is because conscious awareness is actually you understanding why you are the way you are and why you keep doing what you're doing. It is something I see time and time again. I used to see myself, I've seen in my clients, I see with other women that I have conversations with. We get to this time of the year and it's like we start to have this anxiety or this shame or this disappointment that we are not further enough, or that we have shame that we didn't complete goals, or we are judging ourselves because someone seems to have a better life that we're seeing on social media. None of that. We're not here for any shame. We're not here for any judgment on ourselves, but we are here to self reflect. And it's been one of the most crucial things that has truly transformed my life. I came from a background in my 20s. For context, I turned 30 this year, but I came from a background in my 20s where I wouldn't self reflect, but I would get to this point in the year and I would just feel so disappointed because I was like, my life just, I feel like I have these big dreams. Like, I've always been a big dreamer. I've always had huge goals, huge intentions, but I just felt like I wasn't seeing any momentum, or it was just so slow. And in fact, there were a good couple of years when nothing changed year from year. It would be the exact same. The relationships I was attracting was the exact same. My money mindset, the money I was earning was the exact same. My professional life was the same. Relationships was like everything. Everything was the exact same. And it is because I was missing this key piece of reflecting, not just at the end of the month, not just at the end of the year. And so, what I will say with that is, it doesn't matter when you're listening to this or when you're watching this. This could be like on a random day, October, in a random year. It is still going to apply. I do not want you just to reflect because it's coming to the end of the year. I don't want you just to reflect just because it's a Sunday and you want to reflect in your life. You need to be reflecting every 24 hours. You need to wind down your day, have a quick reflection. Am I sitting, get on your laptop or get in your journal and you have to do like deep reflection and have these reflection points? No, not every single day, but your day needs to be better. The day you are living right now needs to be better than the day you were living yesterday. Incremental change. And the only way that is going to happen is if you are actually taking radical responsibility for the part you are playing in your life, and you actually assess what you are doing, what isn't working, how can you do something better, how can you refine it. Something I pointed out in the live that I'm going to emphasize in here is that I had a conversation with someone a month or so ago, and they said to me, you have had rapid momentum over the past year and a half. What are the things, what are the actions you have taken that have gotten you here, that have created such rapid momentum? And to be honest with you, and this is what I said to them, my actions basically look the same. When it comes to the business, when it comes to my personal life, but the difference, the point of difference that I never used to have is I reflect every single day. And when I wake up, it doesn't matter if I'm waking up in a shitty mood. It doesn't matter if I had an argument with my partner, or I'm not feeling good, or if I'm on my period. I will still self reflect and say, how can I do better than yesterday? How can I refine my content for my business? How can I refine the type of partner I am? How can I refine the type of friend I am? How can I refine my fitness routine, or my health and my wellness? Does it mean that every single day when you refine that you aren't going to fail? No, of course you're going to fail. We're human beings. We are bound to have bad days. We are bound to fail. Please remember that. This is law of duality, law of polarity, whatever resonates with you. Without failure, we cannot experience success. That's just the way this law works. Without happiness, we can't, without anger, we can't experience happiness. Without hate, we can't experience love. The quicker you are able to get your head around that, and maybe this is something for you to go away and do your own research on if you don't know a lot about law of duality, law of polarity, but basically it states this universal law is every pole has a polar opposite. You can't have one without the other. And so it doesn't mean because you are reflecting every single day and refining that you're never going to fail. I've had so many failures over the past year, 2 years from changing my mindset and being able to refine. However, it's been great. I embrace these failures because I actually know that's not going to work anymore. I can do this better instead. Or this is what's going to work better in business. Or this is how this communication is more effective in my relationship. Again, whatever area of life it resonates with, it should be resonating with every area of your life. You need to start to look at. And I have seen this in my clients. The more my clients are reflecting on their actions, their behaviors, their reactions, what they are doing every single day. And then the next day, they're like, all right, I'm going to do this better. I'm going to refine. I'm going to try this. One thing my clients do so well is say they're going to try something, even if they're scared about it, even if they have no idea about the outcome, which a lot of us don't, right? Where we don't have a crystal ball, we don't know the outcome, but they refine and then they take action. And then if they fail, because sometimes they do fail, just like all of us, they will refine from that. And so I know if you have been consuming personal development for the longest time, if you have been listening or watching my content for the longest time, this is probably something you have picked up and something you've learned. But I promise you, if you aren't doing this correctly, and you aren't doing it consistently, that should probably be the key word here. If you are not doing it consistently, you are never going to be able to move the needle forward and add a substantial amount. We all have different goals. We all have different intentions. We all have different versions of what success looks like. There is no right, there is no wrong to success. Success to you could be owning a multi-million dollar company, or it could be working for $50,000 a year and volunteering at a puppy shelter, which sounds pretty cool. Puppy shelter. But again, what I'm just reiterating, when it comes to success, it doesn't matter what your version of success is. Everyone's is different. There's no right or wrong. It's up to you to decide, but it's also up for you to decide on the part that you were playing in your own suffering. If your life hasn't changed over the past 12 months, as we're coming to the end of the year and you're making these reflection points, you're creating your vision board, you're setting your goals list, you're writing your intentions, you're thinking about all the things you really want to do in the next year, which by the way, starting that now, please don't wait till January 1 because that's a mindset that is going to keep you stuck and on the hamster wheel. But the most effective thing is yes, you can do all of that. You can do your future scripting journaling, you can do your affirmations, your vision board, but you need to every single day in your head. Like I said, I do a big reflection on Sunday, but in my head every day and as I wake up, I'm like, what can I do better? What is working really well? And the reason that you haven't seen a significant change in your life is because you are really afraid to change things, because we know our nervous system doesn't like change. It likes to predict what is happening. It likes to stay familiar. So do not get this mistaken for working harder. Do not get this mistaken for doing more things, adding more to your to-do list, adding more to your morning routine, adding more to your weekly schedule. Please don't mistake it with that advice. That is not what I'm saying. You can do the same amount of things, but refine it and make them better, and probably even take away a few things to give you space and capacity to be better in your own version. It means to refine. It doesn't mean add more. Don't busy yourself anymore. I see this as well as we get to a new year. It's like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to add all these things to my pile and make myself feel super productive. And then by like second quarter of the year, halfway through the year, nothing's really changed. Things are still going the same. We're still in the hamster wheel. Get off the hamster wheel. This is more of a pep talk, and I share this with so much love just because I truly, truly understand what it's like to be on the hamster wheel, what it's like to be repeating the same cycles, but feel really stuck because it feels like you're doing everything. And I promise you, if it feels like you're doing everything, if you feel like you are absolutely, showing up in your business, showing up in your personal dating life, in your friendships, showing up in your wellness, in your finances, but if nothing's changing, you aren't actually assessing how you need to show up and how you need to do those things differently. And that's the point of difference between you and my clients, really. Why I see, and I said this in my Instagram live this year, I've really refined the process for my clients when it comes to the three main pillars that I teach all my clients, right? It's reprogramming your subconscious thoughts and patterns, it is changing your identity and your self concept, stepping out of an old identity into a new identity. And it is regulating yourself, not just to feel cool, calm, and collected, but to regulate to a new capacity so you feel safe. I've refined that so much this year. It is one of the reasons why Woman Mastery Mastermind, Woman Mastery, has opened and it is ready for January 8th, 2024 for the first round of the year. I'm so excited. But it's because this year I've seen exceptional results in all of my clients, all of them, like exceptional. I have cried so much more of joy in my business and my client results than I ever have this year. Either sometimes on group calls I will, or I'll come off a call and I'll cry with joy to my partner because I'm like, holy shit, like this woman, the woman I'm coaching, look at what she's doing. Like, I am like, I don't go speechless often. And you guys should know that listening to the podcast, but my clients make me speechless, and I've refined it so much. And if you're resonating with this, if you have been resonating with the podcast, I highly, highly recommend coming into a mastery mastermind. It is an application process. Everything will be in the show notes below. Or if you want to have a chat with me, if you're on the fence, if some of that fear is coming up, have a chat, slide into the DMs. We can go back and forth, see if it's actually the right fit for you. But honestly, like, this is one part that I'm giving you that I've seen exceptional results with all of my clients is the art of self-reflection and taking that reflection and putting it into action. The best mindset shift that you can ever make is taking action. And that action that is going to move the needle is going to come from effective self-reflection that is honest. We can easily have a good day in business or our life and be like, that's really, really good. The women who get the most results are able to say that is really great and I'm celebrating myself. Now here's what I'm going to do even better tomorrow. Don't get complacent either way. That's one issue that I had is I get complacent, and that is how we hit our own glass ceilings. I spoke about glass ceilings on the last episode, but that is exactly how we hit our own glass ceilings. So this is your reminder, whether you're listening to this from going from 2023 to 2024, or you're listening to this in a random October or in a random year, it still applies. Self reflect, be super honest with yourself about the part that you were playing in your own suffering. It is time to get off the hamster wheel. It is time to do something different. Isn't it time to live an expansive, abundant, juicy life that you are enjoying? A life that you don't wake up on autopilot, a life that you're not complaining about to your friends? Like, I often during the day, like, I promise this is a daily thing for me. Yes, I still have goals and intentions I'm working towards. But honestly, I like lately I've been waking every single day, not only waking up, but I'll go about my day and I'm like, holy crap, my life. I love my life. I love my life. I'm so excited for my life. I'm so excited to show up in my life, my personal life, my professional life. And I want that for you. And I know that's possible. Not only have I seen it in myself because I came from nearly a decade of the autopilot victim mentality, but I've seen it in hundreds of my clients over the past 4.5 years. And I want this for you too. Make this year, whenever you're listening to this, your year. It is never too late to start. And like I said, also, if you're resonating, you want some support, you want accountability, you want expansive conversations, One Mastery Mastermind is absolutely for you. All of the details are in the show notes below. But I hope you've enjoyed this pep talk. I hope it's, yes, motivated you, given you that dopamine hit, but I hope that you take action, because when you take that 1% of messy inspired action, that's when the needle is going to move. I'm going to love you and I'm going to leave you. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you next episode. Bye.